This shocking attack prompting Israeli missions and sites and Jewish sites to beef up security. D.C. police say they do not believe there was an ongoing or is an ongoing threat to the community. Joining us now, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State Joel Rubin. Thank you for joining us on this sad morning for this young couple who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Investigators now have dueling priorities, one of which is to determine if this individual acted alone. How will they be working to confirm and verify that to assure there isn't a greater threat?
Well, Marni, it's great to be with you. And this is a devastating moment for the American Jewish community, and one where we all feel vulnerable. And I want to mention the question of an ongoing threat is that there is an ongoing threat, and it's been ongoing for years, and it's only growing and gathering steam and getting worse, as we saw last night. And so to your question about figuring out how this occurred and why it occurred, we're going to likely see very aggressive investigations into this individual, into his social media contacts, into his associations, his whereabouts. When did he come to Washington? He's not from here. I'm in Washington. He's not from here. So when did he come and who did he spend time with? Where did he sleep? What did he say to people? A lot of open questions. But at the core of this, it goes back to the main issue, which is that the American Jewish community is under threat, physical threat. Threats clocked at an hour last year of anti-Semitic incidents, according to the ADL. So this is just only heightening the fear in the Jewish community.
It surprised me a bit. I spoke with the ambassador to Israel this morning, Mike Huckabee, and he talked about the threats that we've seen on college campuses amid some of the protests over the last year. And he even went so far as to suggest that parents pull their kids and that the administration will be and needs to be doing more to address the ongoing threat. That's a very chilling thought for a parent of a college student or a student on one of these campuses, given the threat level that you're talking about, Joel.
Well, I am a parent of a college student, and that would be the last thing I would do, is to take her out of college and to cower in the face of these threats. We have to have real conversations, and I did this morning with my daughter, who expressed concern. This is America in 2025, but we do not hide as American Jews who we are and what we stand for. And quite frankly, the threats are coming from all directions. I grew up in Squirrel Hill in Pittsburgh. 6.5 years ago, there was a major terrorist attack in the Synagogue of Tree of Life, killed 11 Jewish Pittsburghers. That was from the political right, and now we see something from the political left. And that just means that it's across all boundaries, and we need to make sure that our children are getting the confidence and education they need, but really confronting these directly head on and speaking plain truth as we have to today.
Right. And I think the point the ambassador is also making is that schools, colleges, and universities, even a Jewish museum in Washington, D.C., have to remain vigilant. Right. And there has to be some level of accountability when these attacks happen. How do we reconcile the two? Getting out, doing our day-to-day, not being afraid, but also making sure that we have steps in place to protect people.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real tragic moment for me, for example, just going to synagogue where we have to walk through metal detectors, and then this Jewish museum as well. Do we need to have security everywhere? Apparently we do as American Jews, but that means that in the near term, that means funding for security. That means having a law enforcement that is proactive with the Jewish organizations and community organizations to identify potential threats. And, you know, something I learned years ago visiting Israel, they have a saying there called chefetz chashud, which means if you see a dangerous object, you call a police officer to deal with it so it may not be a bomb. Well, the same thing, this individual walking around, people saw him, they needed to immediately tell law enforcement or someone responsible at that event that there was a lurking person out there, not just ignore it. So our alert status, we have to remember after September 11th, we here in the United States raised our personal alert status. We need to do that again in this context for the American Jewish community and others as well.
Yeah, you're so right. I think the scary part of this one incident is he looked like he belonged there, right? He was kind of mingling amongst those and looked fearful, which had people fooled, at least for a few minutes. Joel Rubin, thank you. I'm sorry it's under these circumstances, but appreciate you stopping by.